All right, so I'm looking at your site, and I don't know why this looks like this. This is not what it looked like before. But I saw what you're talking about. So basically, these right here do not make sense with what you have selected down here, right? This looks wrong, but I'll show you how to fix it anyways, even though it's not appearing right. I'll show you how to fix that. But so anyway, basically, you're not getting what you should up here, okay? Let me show you how I figured out what was wrong with it and then how to fix it, okay? So the way I figured out what was wrong with it is I went to the Divi theme builder, and then I looked at your theme, and actually it took me a second because I couldn't quite find where you had that previous. I hit the little edit button where you had that previous and next button, because off the bat it had the picture and the other thing, but not the other one. So it had the picture and the navigation and the background, but it didn't have the before after button. So that threw me off, but I could see it when I hovered over it. So hopefully this will pop up soon. Okay. Yeah, this is what it was supposed to be looking like. And give it a second. I'm going to pause it. All right, finally popped up. But you see, I can't really see it, but when I hovered over here, I suddenly saw the little gray there. And if I go to the settings on it, what you'll see, and I know that, is it has this previous next link, which you didn't use. And then you also didn't use categories. But you did use show previous post link and next post link, okay? That does not use, now it's using more the posting system, not your menu system. So even though you put your menu and made a list like this is not looking at that. This is looking at the when it was posted. So it's actually not really built for what we're doing here, although it's not a terrible idea to do. So anyways, that's how I figured out what the issue was, and then I'll just show you now how to fix it. So I'm just going to exit out of this, hopefully discard and edit. And what you want to do is this. It's kind of a weird workaround. Whatever, okay. And this is what you want to do. So looking at your site, right, home page is first. So this is what I did. I went to home, I do quick edit, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the date that it was published. Because what it's doing when it says by post, it's going by post date. So if you change when these were published, that will force the order. So home should be the first one. So I'm just going to superficially make it April 1st and then hit update. Number 2 was about. So I'm going to go to your about page, quick edit, and we're going to do again April, but I'm going to do April 2nd and update. Okay, and then it was masquerade. So quick edit, and we will do April 3rd and update. And then next was reality. So we'll do April. I will do 4th. The reason I'm doing April is just to make it easier, because you can't do days that are, I can't do, right now it's the 2nd. I can't do April or May 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just easier to just do April. So that's why I'm doing April, just because that's in the past, and I'd rather just do April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It's just simpler that way. Update. And then we'll do, I also noticed that you tried to do order number, which was smart, but I actually tried that myself. So we'll do quick edit, and then we'll do April 5th, 05, and then update. It doesn't really, they don't have to be literally one day after each other. They just need to be chronologically that order. Now, when I go here and I refresh it, you should see, hopefully, the correct, so now it says masquerade is on the right and home is on the left. And if we click on masquerade, it's going to go masquerade, and then you'll see about and reality. Okay, that's what should happen. Hopefully it's running kind of slow. Okay, so about reality. So that's how we fix that. It's kind of a weird one-off. I haven't had a student ask me how to do that before, but that's what you needed to do. All right, so the other issue that you were having was the background, which you're not going to be able to see it here, but I can show you. I just did this earlier, but I loaded a second version, and I think it's conflicting with the first one I downloaded. So I think that's why I was having issues. So to fix that, I actually did have another student have this problem, and I'm going to have to add this into my tutorial because it was something that wasn't really an issue, but it is now. So to fix your background, where only one of the backgrounds of this thing it's a different image, this is why it's happening. So you go again to the back end. You're going to go to, what was it? Divi, theme options. Then we're going to go to Builder, Advanced. And right here is the issue. See, it says Static CSS File Generation. So what's happening is that when you make the site, if you remember, it's dynamic, which means it's dynamically creating the CSS onto the HTML content that you're punching in when you make your pages, okay? Which is great. However, you don't want your site to dynamically create that CSS every time somebody opens it up, because what will happen is that the server and or also the user will have to re-download the CSS file every time, and the server will have to generate it every time. And what that means is that every time it's going to have to make that. And what happens is that basically it makes the site slower. So what they do is that after you make your site, it'll create a static CSS file. So instead of doing it dynamically, once you create a page, it will just, unless there's something drastic that happens in the page, it just keeps using that same CSS file. Well, what ends up happening is it sort of like gets stuck. So even when you originally did the one background, you must have had that one page, and then it's still trying to put that same image. So what you want to do is just clear it out, so it has to recreate it again. So you click clear to clear it out first. So that's going to basically delete whatever static CSS file it created. Then turn that off and hit Save Changes. Now later on, when you're done with your site, although I wouldn't because you don't really care right now, but later on, if you were actually going to publish this, I would turn this back on. Once my site was done, I would turn this on and then be like, good. But while you're working on it, it probably makes sense to leave this off because you're changing things. Now, I don't know if it's going to fix this or not. It might actually fix the whole image, the whole thing, but I'm not sure. Now, if you were to look at yours, you will see, there you go. And I think it was Reality was the wrong one, right? So if I go to Reality, you're going to see it's going to be the right picture. But that's basically what happened. And I actually had another student have the same issue, like I said, and that wasn't, I don't know, I hadn't run into that before, but I actually figured it out pretty quickly. So, yeah, that's it. So do those couple things and you should be good to go. Thanks for reaching out. It's looking good, by the way. So just, get it done. We're almost done here, man.